So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture and have both feet flat on the floor. Sorry, I'm not quite still, not quite set up. About hips width apart. And just allow your attention to go down to the soles of your feet. And just feel the weight of your feet on the floor. And just release your legs into your feet, into the floor. Feel the backs of your legs on the chair and your sits bones on the chair as well. Just really feel the sensation and the weight of your body on that surface. And then, feel your pelvic region, also just your sits bones. Just release the weight of your pelvis into the chair. Hands are in your lap. And align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders as best you can. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just imagine you're lengthening your spine. And then come to the crown of the head and release any tension there. Just relaxing your scalp. And maybe you feel some tingling at the crown of the head. And then release any tension on your forehead, your eyebrows, your nose, your cheeks, the area around your mouth, the jaw, the temples, the ears, back of the head. Just put a bit of length in your neck and allow your shoulders and your shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And bring your attention now to the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. So you can focus on the nostrils first, if you wish. And then maybe your chest, that whole thoracic region, expands 360 degrees as you inhale, and then as you exhale. Everything kind of contracts back in, the diaphragm rises up again. Some people like to feel sensations of the breath around the abdomen. We're just using this process to settle ourselves into meditation. Being aware of any distractions in your environment. So your sounds, pets, people, smells. Just allowing all of it to be there, trying not to investigate with your mind. And then just check in with yourself. How are you doing this evening? We have, I think, one Aussie here, one American in Australia. So just check in with yourself today. Well, it's actually tomorrow for us. And just see what's arising in the mind this evening. Allow the thoughts to arise and abide. And then you just release them without kind of getting all involved in the story. And without judgment. So don't judge the thoughts. Try not to have any opinions about the thoughts. Just allow them to be there. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones. These people we hold very dear to our heart. Your strangers. And then the ones you don't particularly like, we have aversion for. and think that they're equal, just like you and me, in these three ways, that they all want to be happy. No one wants to have any kind of suffering, and everybody has this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind, this beautiful potential, which you have as well. So we'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, and equally we can change this by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and then think, well, what can I do about this? Who can I turn to? I'm sick of suffering. And then we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And so our little section here on compassion. So it comes under the heading of reliance. Why? Because in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being. And just kind of, it leaves you as this kind of thick, black, yucky, oily stuff. So, when you do the Vajrasattva retreat, the 3-month retreat, they talk about scorpions and spiders and stuff kind of coming out. So it's a little intense. But you can just imagine, just kind of, it leaves you as this sort of form of inky liquid, and it pours out of you and disappears into space. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimbiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mepiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina petita, jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa sabasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam triyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya setva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sabasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. Except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anorakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa, Sitokaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anorakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Mebowa, Sitokaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anorakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Mebowa, Sitokaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anorakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine that you've walked into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch and the light comes. And the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra instantaneously, dispels all the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, resentment, jealousy and bitterness and grudges, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anorakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shri Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. Excuse me. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anorakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anorakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anorakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anorakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anorakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dina Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum. Okay. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and it fills you completely. And this eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So you imagine the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativity of the body. The nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech. And then the light comes and just completely blasts all of the delusions. And also at the same time, we're reciting the mantra. So we're working at a very subtle level, removing the subtlest imprints of negative energy. Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Te Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. Now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and the final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. We just keep following the same old habit energies, as one of my teachers would say. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So Lama Zopa Rinpoche used to talk about everything existing on the tip of the wishes, the aspiration. So you think about something you would like to refrain from doing between now and tomorrow. I mean, you want to refrain from doing it forever eventually, but that sometimes becomes like a New Year's Eve promise. So you just sort of start slowly and gradually you'll just build up energy around wanting to refrain from doing something. It takes a bit of time. And then just have confidence that you will be able to do that. And then this determination to refrain from harming, it kind of gives us a bit of structure, a bit of strength to change. So Vajrasattva is very delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while, and we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche. The thorough queller of intense affliction, arriving at samsara's opposite shore, his crown the crown of wisdom, consecration, his ornaments comprising perfect Buddhas. The soother of the pain of threefold pain, the ender of the trio ending free, arriving at the threefold liberation, completely free of every obscuration, having achieved equality sky-like, beyond the stains of every last affliction, aware of timelessness in all three times, most eminent amongst all sentient beings, the crown amongst those crowned with noble virtues. Okay, everyone. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long and for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche and for all of your own individual teachers to live long. So I want to wish you a safe and happy weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. Okay. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you so much, Cynthia and Shayla, for hosting.